Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Warrior Report here on HBC TV 25. I'm Justin Barrientos. Thank you for joining us once again. Joe Getson, the head coach for volleyball at Winona State, is here again. Thanks for being back.
Oh, thanks for having me back.
All right, we're still kind of in the get to know you stage, even though you've been here for 5+ years, but this is the first time we've been able to sit down with you on a regular basis and talk to you. So I kind of dig deep in your resume just to see, because it's an extensive resume, as we said last week. And one of the things that really stuck out to me is that you coached a year in Major League Volleyball. And I don't know how many people remember that league. I remember the Minnesota Monarchs because they were just over in Rochester, but you were telling me off camera they played out of the Twin Cities when you coached. You coached the Chicago Breeze. How did that opportunity come about, and what was that like?
Well, at the time I was coaching with a club called Sports Performance Volleyball out of the Chicago area, probably one of the most storied clubs, juniors club in the history. And the director of that club and the head coach of that club, Rick Butler, was coaching the club and the professional league. So I was just an assistant coach. But he had a contract to take his sports performance team over to Japan. And at the time, Japan wouldn't allow the team in without him coaching it. So by default, I got to coach, I think it was 3 matches as the head coach. And one of the matches was actually the Minnesota Monarchs.
Okay.
I don't think I won that one. But I did get to fly out to LA and play the LA, I forget what they were called at the time. And it was a great experience. There was a lot of really talented players, former collegiate players, some former national team players. So it was a lot of fun for me as a young coach just to be around that kind of talent, and I got to learn quite a bit.
Was the game any different in a professional league than it was in college or high school?
No, played by the same rules. You know, back then it was old-fashioned scoring and that sort of thing, but it was basic volleyball, just at a very high level. So it was a fun thing to be a part of. Unfortunately, the league didn't last but a year or two after I left. But it was a great experience. I know they've had several different renditions of that, trying to start up again. And I think there's a market for it, and there's a lot of talent here in the States. Right now, a lot of those kids just go play in Europe.
And how was attendance and that sort of thing in the following? Did you get a lot of media attention, that sort of thing?
No, you know, it was a brand new league, so there was a little bit of it, but it was mostly very local in the western suburbs of Chicago, per se. So it wasn't big. I think we had probably 2,000 people at a match, so it wasn't bad.
Okay, very good. Yeah, I'm always interested about things like that and how those things come about and what the experience was like.
Oh, it was a neat experience for me as a coach, that's for sure.
All right, well, let's move on now to your Winona State team then. You haven't had a lot of time for practice, obviously, because of the summer and just coming back, but you did have a scrimmage this past weekend. Tell us how that went.
Well, we did we couldn't find anyone to come up and scrimmage us this year, so we did a purple and white scrimmage. Very, very heated, 2 heated matches, evenly split teams. So it was really good to see all the talent on the floor, and then we did just put the starters on one side and kind of manipulate the score, so they had to work a little bit harder. And I think it was a really good test for them. You know, a lot of what we try to do is just replicate how good the other teams are going to be. And I think an advantage we're going to have this year is just how deep we are. And I'm telling you, it is so fun in our gym right now, and it is so hard to score in our gym right now. So both sides are playing really high level of volleyball, so it's exciting.
So you said it was kind of a heated match between the two teams. How heated was it? Was there a lot of talk between the two?
Well, you know, the girls are getting comfortable with each other, shall we say, and, you know, there's some words exchanged once in a while, and mostly on my calls, you know, because I referee the match as well, so they let me have it. But, no, they're getting after it. They're very competitive, so it's exciting to see.
So if you were the referee, then your 2 assistants were the coaches for the 2 sides?
Yes.
How did that go?
Oh, excellent. We have great coaches, you know, I mean, it's fun that way, and just to sit back and listen to their feedback was spot on, and they didn't need a lot of help. The kids are doing well.
All right. Now, I did want to ask you about the recruiting class that you had coming into this year. How much time generally do freshmen get when they first come in? Because I don't think you redshirt a whole lot. How
You know,
much do you think they do?
we have a very talented, we brought in 4 players. The skill level that they bring in is probably higher than any of the classes I've brought in the past. Usually there's a little bit of a gap as they catch up to the speed of the college game, and all four of them have really acclimated very quickly. So it's neat to see. I don't know if they're going to break into the starting lineup maybe the first weekend, but I'm not going to have any issues having them come off the bench and put in some time. There's no doubt about that. And all of them are, I think they spent a lot of the summer here, so I think that helped them adjust as well. So I think you're going to see some of the young faces on the floor.
All right, very good. Well, coming up, I think this weekend, you have your first matches out on the road. You're going to be doing 4 matches in 2 days. What is that going to be like for you to prepare and for the team to be ready for all of that?
Well, the first 2 weekends, we really don't put a lot of emphasis on our scouting. It's really about our side of the net and taking care of business there, and we've got a lot of things that will probably be exposed that we need to clean up. We'll watch some of the other teams play so we know what we're up against, and then be able to make some small adjustments, but not quite like conference where you get film ahead of time. So we get to see University of Illinois Springfield twice. They're a team receiving votes, very good team. So it'll be interesting to see how we both adjust to each other after that first match. And then, we're looking forward just to playing someone else and putting all of our pieces against someone.
Sure.
So.
Okay, and then you don't have any home matches then until September 27th, and I know that baseball and softball kind of go through that, but what is that like for your team to not have that home support, even be able to sleep in their own beds before games and that sort of thing?
Well, it's tough, and we really we try every year to try to bring in some teams into Winona. It's just not a convenient place and to come back to, and a lot of teams go back to where they get their kids from. So we keep working on it every year. Hopefully, one year we'll be able to put on a tournament. But I think the kids know it, and it's just what we do nowadays. So.
Okay, and then last question for this segment. As we mentioned last week, Alexis Bass is your only senior. Kate Mossberg will join us in just a moment as a junior. How much leadership, how much support do you think you'll get from that junior class, seeing as how there's just the one senior this year?
Well, the junior class is going to play a pivotal role in our success, and a lot of them got a lot of playing time, both mostly as sophomores, and I think it left a bad taste in their mouth. They didn't like the lack of success that we didn't have last year. So I think they've came back with a different attitude. They've put in some time, and they've really shown that on the floor. And from that, I think we've grown tremendously as a team, and it's going to be exciting to see what they can do out there.
All right, we're going to take a break here on the Warrior Report. When we come back, Kate Mossberg will join us right after this.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engine.
Buckle up.
I'm really excited to ride a race car ass.
For a joyride full of family fun.
For sure, Bill is more excited than me for going camping.
Woo!
It is a little insane that the kids have grown up so much, so quickly. Good job. Sure, it's a juggling act, but we juggle well.
All new episodes of The Little Couple, every Tuesday at 9 on TLC and TLC Go.
This valley has more prisons than any other across America. Before the prisons took over the region, we had very few murders, but that has changed.
That monster killed my husband.
This was an assassination.
You killed my daughter.
They're getting away with it.
Prison Valley is a strange place where strange things happen.
Valley of the Damned, all new Tuesday at 10, only on ID and ID Go.
And welcome back to the Warrior Report here on HBC TV 25. We're now joined by Kate Mossberg. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
I got to ask you first about your family. A lot of times we say that people come from athletic families, but in doing research on your family, it's amazing how many members of your family have gone into sports. Your 2 brothers were here. You had a sister that played multiple sports at
Yep.
Riverland. Can you tell us about your growing up?
Most of my childhood, I went to a lot of my brothers and sisters' sporting events. I didn't really have an option. So just growing up around sports really made me enjoy just it even more, and got my competitiveness out of watching them play. So I'm really thankful that I had that as an opportunity when I was younger.
All right, and I imagine that family time must be crazy going to and from all the different events. There must not have been a whole lot of time to just sit at home and relax for a while, right?
Right, no, you went from one spot to the next, and then you ate dinner, and then you went back. You just kind of were all over the place all the time.
All right, I want to ask you about your high school career, because while you were at WEM, it was amazing what you were able to do. You won a state championship in 2015. Your team was the first team in school history to have 30 wins in a season, kind of shattered the record. What was that like to win a state championship and have that much success?
It was exciting for sure, also kind of nerve-wracking, but with all of the support of our community, with being such a small town, you knew everybody in the town supported you, which was really awesome and made it even easier just to go out and compete and know just to have fun, and no matter how the outcome was, you knew that you had support behind you, which was really cool.
And what do you remember about the state tournament and that championship?
It was the biggest spot I've ever played at. It was really exhilarating. It was awesome.
All right, very good. So when you were recruiting, what made you decide to bring Kate on board?
Well, when I found Kate, I was actually looking at another student athlete on her high school team, and I just kept being drawn over to Kate and her play. And I know I came back and told Nicole, the assistant at the time, that I found a player. And she was like, "Oh, the kid you went to see?" And I'm like, "No, I found another player." And then I found out, her brother had gone or was attending school here, and just in watching Kate, she's something special. Somehow she just makes it. She just gets it done.
All right. Now, last year was kind of a difficult year for you because you had to start out the year with an injury. What was that like to miss the start of the year and then have to work your way back into the lineup?
It was hard. I had never suffered from an injury like that, or any type of injury. So going through that in college was really hard for me. I wish I would have gotten it out in high school. But I mean, it was a learning experience, and I definitely grew from that, and just how hard you really have to work to get yourself back to where you were at your starting point.
All right. What was your injury? What happened to you?
I sprained my ankle, but it was pretty bad.
Yeah. Now, you had a breakout season your freshman year, and then you kind of struggled. What is it going to be like to get back on the court, back in collegiate action this year?
It's going to be awesome. I'm really excited to show my competitiveness to my team and just the other teams. Yeah, I'm excited for it.
All right, and what's your outlook for Kate? Is she going to be able to get right
Kate's
back
in freshman form, shall we say.
Yeah.
A lot more experience in freshman form, but she's earned herself a starting position, and we're excited just to have her back out on the floor and what she brings to the floor. And like I said, she just makes plays, so something we need.
All right, and then last question that I have for you, do you have any goals set for this year, or is just getting back on the court your main goal?
We obviously set team goals, which is which my personal goals are the same as the team goals. But honestly, just to dominate at every game, just do your best, have fun. That's my main goal.
All right, well, thank you for being here, and good luck this season.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a break here on the Warrior Report. When we come back, we'll talk men's golf from Winona State. That's right after this.
HGTV is celebrating all things Brady in the ultimate event of the year.
Get ready for a once-in-a-generation TV renovation.
Join the original cast and HGTV's biggest names.
This is crazy.
A very Brady renovation, all new Monday night at 9.
This is your wake-up call. Come doomsday, all the technology that you've used becomes useless. So how do you protect yourself? That's why we exist. We source vintage pieces. This is bulletproof technology. We restore them to full working order.
Awesome! Look at that!
And sell them to preppers.
Wow.
Holy moly!
What's old isn't just new again. Come doomsday, it might just save your life.
Masters of Disaster, Fridays at 10 on Discovery.
Elevate your home entertainment experience with gigabit internet and Elevate TV from HBC. Watch all your favorite local programs on your TV or any connected devices. Use apps and share media between devices. Get instant access to video on demand. Experience a better whole home DVR solution. Stream 4K, surf, share, and game, all at the same time. And with GigaHome Wi-Fi, experience whole home coverage and the same gigabit internet speeds and reliability in every corner of your home and beyond. Call HBC today at 888-474-9995.
And welcome back to the Warrior Report here on HBC TV 25. We'll talk men's golf now with head coach Jeff Straight. Thanks for coming back here.
Thanks, Justin. Thanks for having us.
Let's kind of pick up where we left off last time. You were headed to Hot Springs for the Super Regional.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about what happened to you in Arkansas.
Well, normally our conference doesn't really perform very well in that tournament, but we probably got the best 10th place we could have ever gotten.
Mm-hmm.
So we actually missed nationals by 10 shots. You know, that can happen really quick in golf as far as, 5 guys on the golf course. But I think one of the biggest, there's a lot of positives to take away. And it's kind of strange. We beat the super regionally, we beat, in our own region, we beat 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9th ranked teams. So we beat Henderson on their home golf course, which is really nice to have. I think they were ranked 14th in the nation.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't even play a practice round because the practice round was washed out.
Right.
So there was a lot of positives to take away from that tournament and our guys and to build upon that.
Yeah, weather did kind of play a little bit of a role in the Super Regional. How did the team deal with that, and what did you do in your off time?
Well, we like adverse conditions in a sense because we're used to them up here. So a lot of times when it's poor weather in the south, we feel like we kind of have an advantage because we're used to cooler conditions or rain or whatnot. But really, there's always time to work on our games or whatnot. And we have it in Hot Springs, Arkansas. It's kind of a nice place to go visit. It's a tourist destination.
Yeah.
So that was kind of nice for our guys to go out and to kind of see Hot Springs and what it's all about and learn a little bit about the area.
And if I remember right, that was kind of special for you to go back to Arkansas, right?
I was raised there and born there, so in Arkansas, not in that area, but it's a nice state and it's a good place to go home to. So.
And you're going to go back in October, right? End of October, right?
Yeah, in the October is our last tournament of the fall. So it's actually going to be a match play, stroke play event. So it's 8 teams, but it's 7 teams that we really compete against. So our whole deal is about going south and really chasing rankings. So we're playing Central Oklahoma, Henderson, and some other really good schools that we can have. It's a lot of fun, and we need to try to be. So it's all about getting our rankings where they need to be, versus other teams in the South.
When I looked at the schedule, it called the Battle for the Belt. What's the significance of that?
Well, what they have is it's like a wrestling belt or a heavyweight champion belt. So it's kind of nice. They started that in golf a bit, but it's kind of winning the belt. So there's like 2 tournaments in one tournament. So it's kind of nice, and it's really competitive teams that we compete against each other. So we'll see who comes out on top. My guys love match play. So we do a lot amongst our team in practice and things like that. So young guys are all about match play and having fun. So beating head to head.
All right.
So.
When I looked at your roster for this year, kind of preparing for this interview, you have guys from all over the place. New Zealand, Australia, Canada, 1 from Arizona, 3 from Wisconsin,
right.
5 from Minnesota, including 1 from Winona Senior High and 1
right.
from Lake City.
Right.
How did you get that kind of diverse roster together?
Well, a lot of it's recruiting. Work really hard recruiting. I mean, I'm up sometimes all hours of the night and recruiting, and I'm really looking for the best person first. And we had all local guys, but what's really brought a nice flair to the team is some learning from our guys. Like guy from Canada, Matthew Chandler lives in Nova Scotia, so that's a whole other area of the world to learn from. And then one of probably the nicest guy on our team is Hamish Brown from New Zealand. He'll graduate this year. He was a 2-year transfer. And then Bailey Callender is a super late guy from Australia, but really nice kid. And it's a whole camaraderie thing for us that really makes it a lot of fun for our team and our guys. So
I assume you didn't make a big recruiting trip to New Zealand and Australia, although that would have been nice, right?
No, there's an app called WhatsApp, and it's very international. So we did a lot of face things and with Bailey, and there's kangaroos hopping around in the background when he's practicing and hitting. So I really got a kind of sight unseen other than video and him. And he was ranked in the top 20 in Australia. So good player. He's come over here. A lot of changes for him, getting used to different grass and things like that. So.
How about the local players, the 3 from Wisconsin, 5 from different areas of Minnesota? What do you do in the recruiting process for those players?
Well, and we try to focus a lot of our recruiting in this area, and really, what I'm even going forward, trying to get more guys, Minnesota guys, Wisconsin guys. It's kind of a nice area for us. Matt Turner, I've known him since he was in the 7th grade and watched him in varsity golf at Winona High School. So he's on our golf course all the time playing, and I've helped him some even before as a junior. Really just trying to really find the best fit and the best people. We look at rankings and things like that, how they're playing, and a lot of times it's a player, can the potential be there? That maybe they're not playing great now, but they've got potential. They hit the ball a long distance, and what can we work with?
All right, I'm going to ask a question that may sound silly at first, and because golf isn't really known all that much as a college sport, I guess I really don't know the answer to this question.
Okay.
When the players are at home during the summer, how much work do they get on a golf course, or how much do you expect them to get, and do you work with any of the golf courses to maybe get reduced rates or get them on there, because that could be pretty pricey if they're on the course a lot?
Could be. We really can't negotiate prices for them. I mean, they can play here at the Bridges all summer long, and some of them do, but a lot of them go home and they kind of got their own course, own club, and they're really focusing more on playing state amateurs, state opens, things like that. So I can give them, we'll build a schedule together in the spring and say, here's what we think you should do or work on, and they pretty much go to it. Some of them work too, so it's hard for some of those guys to they're picking certain tournaments of the year, so they got a job, they're working. But for the most part, it's pretty expensive because they're usually working at a golf course too. So they usually don't pay to play when they do that.
Very good. And then you had 2 players graduate that we had on the show last time, Ben Jasper and Michael Schmitz.
Right.
What are you going to miss from them coming into this year?
Well, good guys and good play. I mean, they're tough to replace, but we're hoping that we got some guys that are ready to go for that piece. When you got a guy who was the all conference, best player in the conference, and then Benny Jasper won the conference tournament. That was huge. But they left a good legacy behind and really helped a lot of the guys that are coming along. So.
All right, and then the last question for this segment is what's coming up this weekend. You're going to be in Lake City to start off the year.
Yeah, the Jewel Golf Club, we host there. This is the 5th year we've hosted that tournament. There's teams from Missouri and Kansas and all over. The whole conference is playing there too. So really fun tournament, great golf courses in great condition. So Keith County's done a great job for us, helped us. So to really build a relationship of a good golf course, and it's a lot of work for us. I don't get on the golf course as much as I want because I'm running the tournament and things like that, but it's a fun event, and it's a little weird because we're Thursday or Friday, Saturday tournament. Usually we're Monday, Tuesday, but so a lot of the teams, we're not going to Bemidji, but Bemidji hosts right after that. So a lot of teams are playing the 6 days in a row with practice rounds included. So.
All right, and what will be a success for you this weekend?
To win.
Yeah.
To win, and we pride ourselves in playing a lot of guys. So we have 10 guys that are eligible on our roster, and or 11 guys that aren't eligible, and all those guys are going to play. So not only play an A team, we play a B team as well. So our, years ago, 4 years ago, maybe it was, our A team won the tournament, and our B team got second. And it's a good conference and regional play. So even though you're on the B team, B doesn't stand for second best. It's better than everybody else. So that's kind of what our goal is, to play well and try to win. That's what it's competition. The first 2 tournaments of the weeks of the year are A teams in Owensboro, Kentucky, the second tournament, and then in La Crosse, Wisconsin for our B team. So that's how we build depth, and that's our goal.
All right, we're going to take a break here on the Warrior Report. When we come back, Brady Madsen will join us right after this.
This valley has more prisons than any other across America. Before the prisons took over the region, we had very few murders, but that has changed.
That monster killed my husband.
This was an assassination.
You killed my daughter.
They're getting away with it.
Prison Valley is a strange place where strange things happen.
Valley of the Damned, all new Tuesday at 10, only on ID and ID Go.
Elevate your home entertainment experience with gigabit internet and Elevate TV from HBC. Watch all your favorite local programs on your TV or any connected devices. Use apps and share media between devices. Get instant access to video on demand. Experience a better whole home DVR solution. Stream 4K, surf, share, and game, all at the same time. And with GigaHome Wi-Fi, experience whole home coverage and the same gigabit internet speeds and reliability in every corner of your home and beyond. Call HBC today at 888-474-9995.
And welcome back to the Warrior Report here on HBC TV 25. Brady Madsen now joins us. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
We'll talk about your summer. You had a pretty exciting summer at the Minnesota State Open. Tell us a little bit about that tournament and you know, the reaction to that.
Yeah, it was a big week for me. I had the State Amateur early in that week, and then followed by the State Open that weekend, and played solid in the State Am, but really carried it over into the Open, and really wanted to, you know, get a top 10 finish, and really was forcing to make some birdies and ended up making quite a bit of them, and so it was a pretty cool experience to be able to win the Open this year. And your brother was your caddy during the tournament. Is that something that happens often? Did you have your brother as a caddy, or flip things around? Yeah, I just kind of flipped it around a little bit. I mean, I had both my brothers last year in the State Amateur caddy for me, and they loved it being out at Hazeltine, and so I wanted to, you know, have them back in the bag for this year, and luckily enough that they were able to do it again and kind of have that good camaraderie back. All right, and then after that, you were kind of surprised your teammate and friend Levi Hauser kind of organized a big party for you afterwards. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about that. Yeah, it was a pretty cool reception. So yeah, my dad and I are league partners back home, and we were actually playing Levi and his brother in a big match, and so we got off the 9th green, and everyone there was kind of, I guess, throwing a big party for me, and it was pretty cool to see everyone back home and supporting me. It was awesome. All right, and Coach Strait, your reaction to Brady winning?
Well, it was great to see, and you know, he was playing the best players, and I don't think a Division II player has ever won that tournament. And he was playing. I think it was a D1 player from North Dakota State that he was playing against. Mm-hmm. So it was really neat to see, and really what Brady and I worked on mentally and things like that. He was so driven. He wasn't going to be beat. It just wasn't going to happen. So. We knew, everybody, we're not shocked by this, because we all know how good Brady is and what a humble, good man he is. All right, and what I just found out here talking to you guys is it's kind of a cool thing about this is now you have a lifetime exemption, so you can play this tournament every year. Exactly, yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool to be able to play that for the rest of my life. All right, let's go back just a little bit and talk about your high school career, because not only were you a golfer, but also played football and basketball. Tell us about some of your great memories from high school, things that you remember. Yeah, growing up, I was kind of the young child in the family, so I was kind of picked up right where my brothers left off and kind of put with them. That's kind of how I excelled a little bit. In football, I was a good receiver my sophomore and junior year and switched over to quarterback, and I almost made it to state my senior year. Basketball was 3-year starter as a point guard, and then golf I went to state 5 times, so had a pretty good, I guess, high school career and accolades, so it was good. All right, and then how did you decide that golf was what you wanted to pursue in college? I got such a small body frame, and so I figured playing basketball or football would not be good for me, and I love golf. I played it every day in the summer, so I figured why not keep going with it. All right. Is there anything that you can pull from your experience in football or basketball or any other sports that you played to help you with golf? Yeah, just work hard. And in football and basketball, I actually practiced a lot in high school, and I want to be good at both. And it carried over into golf and working hard, and I still do that now, work hard at golf and practice hard. All right. Last year you were 8th in the NSIC in scoring average, all-tournament team, 2nd all-team NSIC. Have you set any personal goals for this year, or is it all kind of team-oriented things? They're both. I've set some personal goals, and obviously as a team we want to win and make it to nationals too. As an individual standpoint, I want to be the best player in the NSIC, but it's going to take a lot of work coming up and just being driven and focused and doing that. Well, obviously the Minnesota State Open has kind of opened some doors here. You were named the preseason golfer of the year in the NSIC. What was it like to get that honor? It's a pretty cool honor, but I want to live up to the hype and not just be the preseason guy. I want to be the player of the year at the end of the year. So
I'd rather have that Player of the Year under my belt than the preseason. So.
All right. Well, best of luck this weekend and the rest of the season. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right. And thank you for watching Warrior Report. We'll see you next week here on HBC TV 25.